Oh, yeah. How are we doing, folks? Welcome to another live episode of How You Been with Brett the Mott. I, of course, am your fearless leader, Brett the Mott, here with another installment of the best live Twitch talk funny nice day show. Still working on the pitch on what to call this show, folks. Been doing it for almost 28 years and don't know exactly what to call it, how to talk to other people about it. It's not exactly a talk show. It's not exactly a podcast. It's a live Twitch talk funny nice day show. I hope you are all having a wonderful week. I, of course, am still having a just fantastic time in life in general. If you tuned in last week, folks, you know that things are going pretty well for the old DeMott. The art installation's taking off. I'm making more money than I know what to do with. Hand over fist. Is that the saying? Why is my camera focused on my fingers? Don't it know that this is where the money gets made? There you go. Come on. I'm making so much money off this art exhibit, folks. I bought myself some nice new duds. You'll see. I bought myself a hat. We love the hat, folks. If you love the hat, say, oh, yeah. Got my jacket on because I can afford to run the air conditioner in the wintertime. A lot of people say, why do you run your air conditioner in the wintertime, Brett? And I say, because it don't get cold enough in my house because the rooms are so small, my body heat warms the rooms up too much. So I run the air conditioner in the wintertime to keep things at a normal temperature. It's true. This is true. You folks can probably hear the clip clapping around in the background. I got the dog in here. The dog is in here. I got the door closed, but the dog's in here trying to get out the door. And I'm like, you can't be in and out at the same time, dog. You got to be either in or you got to be out. And you can't sit here and you can't whine because I won't let you out when you just were whining to get in here. It's ridiculous. What do you want? You want to be out? Or you want to be in? I think you want to be in because if I let you go out, then you're going to whine because you want to come in. It's the way it works. Grass is always greener. Sorry about that, folks. Folks, I'm very excited for the show today. You know, it seems every week we unlock a new chapter in a story of DeMott with a guest, but this week I think is special. I got my good friend, Scoop HalfStack, on the show, who he and I, for about a while back, sort of took a sabbatical from life and sort of lived the sort of, we flew in the breeze, you know? We got on a sailboat, let the sail rip, and went where the wind took us for about a year. Had all kinds of adventures. He's a very interesting fellow. We're going to have a great time catching up. That's coming up in just a little bit. But I wanted to give you all a little update on what's going on with the DeMott life. What's going on with the DeMott life right now. Because a lot of people, I went to the grocery store today, and somebody said, what's going on with the hat and a jacket? This is a brand new thing for you. And I just wanted to let you guys know, I've been watching a lot of documentaries recently. And I've been going down a lot of little wormholes on documentaries because, truth be told, Brett the Mott, the artist here, I'm turning it into a doc. I finally did watch The Artist is Present, the Marina Abramovich documentary. And so I decided, what better way to expand my artistic horizons than to turn my art exhibit in the backyard that's raking in money hand over fist into a documentary? And I've been looking at pictures of documentary guys. And they say dress for the job that you want, not the job that you got. And so I decided I'm going to make a documentary about my art installation, which I'm sure at some point I'll probably show some clips from it on a show in the future. But I got to look the part. And who better to try to look like than Michael Moore, the most handsome documentary maker on the face of the planet Earth. So I bought a little hat with a very long brim, and I'm going to wear shirts that are too big for me, and I'm going to make documentaries where I'm a little bit combative. The message is going to be good. People are going to walk out of the theater being like, man, I really hate that I agree with this man. Because he's so annoying. But he's right. Most of the time. So get ready for that, folks. I don't know how to use a camera or nothing. This is all stuff I'm going to learn. You know. And granted, I'm going to have to take a week off here and there when the trial starts. Because as you all know, I'm in the midst of a trial. Because I tried to do a vigilante thing as Coyote Man. And so the trial's coming up. I might try to get some courtroom sketches in here. If I got any courtroom sketch artists out there who are interested in showing up at the courtroom and doing a courtroom sketch, you're welcome to do it. And then send it to howyoubenshow@gmail.com. And I'll show the courtroom sketches on a show coming up. And feel free to sketch any moment. And it can be bad. Your drawing can be bad. Feel free to sketch any moment from the courtroom. And I'll show it on the show and tell everybody about what happened at that moment. You can send your sketches to howyoubenshow@gmail.com. These can be stick people. It can be whatever. And I'll show them on the show and tell everybody what's going on at the trial. But also, because I need more stuff to think about and to do, I'm also going to be making a documentary about Brett the Mott. The stuff is here. So, a lot of very fun stuff in the future, which is very exciting for me. But otherwise, things in life are pretty good, you know. Finally paid off the therapist. I owed him what ended up being about $12,000. Paid him off. So he can't hold that over me anymore. Very sorry for him. But folks, like I said, I'm very excited for my buddy Scoop to be on the show. But before we talk to Scoop, I think we're going to dip our little fingies into the old mailbag, huh? And this first question is admittedly a very weird one. If you got any questions, please feel free. Send them to howyoubenshow@gmail.com. They could be about anything. They could be about the trial. They could be about the documentary I'm making. They could be about my favorite foods, which is movie theater hot dog. About what car I drive, which is big van. It could be many things. Anything. Send them to the email address that's right there on the screen. howyoubenshow@gmail.com. But this question comes from April. And the question is, are you into slime? Have you had any incidences involving slime in your hair beard. Okay. Am I into slime? Short answer, knee-jerk reaction, no. Am I into slime? I can't say that I ever been into slime. What is even slime? We talking about gunk built up in like the sewer? We talking about when you put chicken that you cooked into the refrigerator and then you take the chicken out the next day to eat it cold and then it's coated in a sort of Vaseline textured slime? Is that the slime we're talking about? I like that slime, all right. But I can't say that I'm into slime. I don't know that there's anybody who's into slime. And quite frankly, the second part of the question, have you had any incidences involving slime in your hair beard? Short answer again, no. Hair, my beard hair? Don't got much of it. And I ain't never had slime in there. So I guess the short answer to both these questions is no. But if there's more something that I'm missing here, if there's more to this slime than meets the eye, feel free to follow up. Let me know more specifically what your question is, because I don't know if I'm into slime or not. Because I don't know exactly what you mean by slime. But yeah, folks, please send me more questions. Sometimes the well runs dry, and you read the question that you don't understand. And sometimes questions go into the pot that are a little too time-specific. And so now it's weird for you to go back and read them because the events of the past have moved on. That makes sense. So, not to put so much pressure on the people sending in questions to the mailbag, but if you could make an effort to make your questions as timeless as possible and not anchored to any sort of moment in history of the show, I'd never miss one, is what I'm saying. And I don't like missing them. I don't like going into the bag and be like, I can't answer this question because it's from a couple weeks ago when I was talking all the time about something else. And it ain't that I'm ignoring you. It's that the question wouldn't make no sense in the context of the current day's show. That's all. Too bad. All right, folks. I'm really excited for my guest today. I told you a little bit about him. Scoop is a good friend of mine. Knows me probably more intimately than anybody else besides BB ever did. Not that we had sex with each other. We just lived together for about a year, roaming around the country together. So we got to know each other real well, spent some real good times together, spent some bad times together. We've seen each other in the highest of highs and the lowest of lows, so it's going to be nice to sort of catch back up with him. I ain't talked to him in a little bit, so it's going to be nice to see what's been going on in his life. And I'm really excited for all you guys to meet him because I think he's going to be a very interesting person to chat with. Before I go to break, also, my producer, John, wanted me to say on the stream that if you ever listen to the podcast that he did called Teacher's Lounge, and you ever liked the show that they did, the spinoff show that's Preachers, the group he's on just did a new show that they put on their website that you can go and buy it now called The Preacher's Lounge, where I guess it's them doing jokes as if they are preachers or something. I ain't selling that show too good, but you can go to Big Grande website and you can buy the show there. It's going to be 4 episodes. It premiered on Sunday, every Sunday now till Easter. They're going to do another show with different guests. They got Paul F. Tompkins was on the first episode, who looks a whole lot like the guest that I had on this show who ran the liquor store, whose name is escaping me. Then they got Lauren Lapkus on an episode coming up. It's going to be great. Very exciting. And then they got Carl Tart, who everybody probably knows a lot, who's also looks a lot like a person who'd been on this show before, my mechanic. And Lauren Lapkus apparently looks a lot like Mr. Points, my high school teacher. And then they got Io Edebiri. I'm sorry for mispronouncing the last name, but she's great as well. And she doesn't look like anybody who's ever been on this show, but she does look like somebody who probably will be on this show at some point in the future. If that makes any sense. So, folks, without further ado, I'm going to jump to break real quick, get my buddy Scoop on the line. And then we'll bring him on and we'll just chat for a little bit like we always do on this show, and I hope you enjoy it. But stick around through the break. I'll be back very, very soon. Oh, folks, I'm back. I'm back on. How about that? So quick, so easy. I mean, these breaks, they're getting shorter and shorter every day, ain't they? But, folks, like I said, I'm very excited for my guest today. We ain't talked in a minute, but boy, did we spend a lot of time together at one point in the past. So I'm very excited to bring him on the show to introduce him to all you guys. So without further ado, welcome to the show, my good buddy, Scoop HalfStack. Scoop! What? Oh, Scoop! Hey, Scoop! Scoop! Oh, wait, hang on, Scoop! Scoop! I accidentally had you muted so nobody heard the funny thing that you did getting rid of that raccoon.
Nothing funny about it. Was just trying to get rid of a raccoon. It's all
Scoop.
business, okay?
Oh.
It's okay if people didn't hear the messy reality of me shouting at a raccoon to drop something, okay? That's fine.
Scoop!
How the hell are you?
I'm good, man. It's great to see you. I mean, geez, it's been, a couple years now since we talked. You're looking good. You're looking good.
Hot minute, I would say.
Yeah, you're looking real good, man.
Thank you. You as well.
Yeah,
God,
man.
Look, you got a studio with a roof and everything's incredible, man.
I mean,
how'd you get that, man?
You
That's
ain't
crazy.
doing so bad yourself. Look at you with that professional microphone. Are you outdoors? You're outdoors. You're actually outdoors.
I'm outdoors. I am still outdoors, of course, living the nomad life. You know,
hey, you're still doing it.
That's what I'm all about.
Man.
Still doing it. And I got news for you. I was doing it before it was a popular movie with an Oscar winner in it. Okay?
Oh, he's talking about this Nomadland movie, which I ain't seen yet. I ain't seen it yet.
Nuts for this.
Yeah.
You ain't seen that? First of all, disrespectful to the director, one of the first female directors of color nominated. No,
hey,
but go ahead. No,
it ain't
you
about.
You don't got time to do it. You're too busy streaming.
It ain't about the director. It just say I ain't seen a movie. I ain't watched a full movie in about 10 years. You know this. Ever since the movie theaters closed, I love movies. You know this about me. I love movies. I would see every movie if I could, but I just wasn't. I haven't been able to see that one. I'm sorry. I'll see it. I'll watch it. All right.
Hey, it's all right. I just, because it's about the lifestyle that you and I shared for so long. I mean, do the viewers understand that you and I were nomads together?
They know the basic gist of it. I didn't get into too much detail because I figured you'd come on, we get into a little bit. But basically, yeah. So Scoop and I, about 10 years ago, took a little break from, I took a break from life. Seems like you started a brand new one.
I took a break from paying child support.
Right. Which, of course...
I just needed to get out of that situation and clear my head from that kind of financial hardship. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, man. I hear you. It's tough. But Scoop and I went out on the road. We sort of just packed everything that we owned into a car, one suitcase. Scoop, of course, brought the cooler. He has a cooler.
Shared one suitcase.
We shared one.
Mixed all our boxer briefs were intermingled. That's how simpatico we were.
Hey, man,
you know we're the
same. We are the same exact shape and size. So we had one suitcase.
Exact shape. That was our main claim to fame at that time, and that's why when I was first going, geez, I'd really like to get out of town and stop paying child support. I thought, I don't own a vehicle or a suitcase or almost anything. Who do I know who has some of those things, who is also conveniently my exact same shape and size?
Yeah.
And so I thought of you.
And before people in the chat start saying it feels like Scoop took advantage of me, that ain't what happened. Okay? We were buddies.
That is so rude. Are people saying that in the chat right now?
Nope. Nobody's saying I'm getting out ahead of it.
They would say that. That is so disgusting that your sick fans. I knew that these people were sick.
No, Scoop, they didn't say it yet.
And they're wrong.
They didn't say it.
Turn it off.
No, Scoop.
Turn off the stream if you're going to be
No, Scoop.
Get out of here. Unsubscribe.
Scoop.
Okay?
No,
Stop watching.
Everybody don't listen to Scoop on that. Don't unsubscribe. I was saying before anybody said something like that. Nobody said nothing like that. Here's the thing. Scoop, you got into trouble so many times because you assumed so much about people's intentions when we were on the road. Like, that about yourself. You're quick to judge. You're not a great judge of character either. Yeah, what do they say about...
I'm excellent judge of character. Okay.
Well, I don't know about that.
You know what they say when you assume, I'm going to kick your ass. Me. That's the phrase.
I'm going to kick your ass.
And that's how I live my life. Okay?
Outside. That's what
the best way to size somebody up is to, you got to just go instant judgment. I haven't always been right, but I like to think I've been more correct than wrong. Okay. So, we would find ourselves in situations where we'd be camping at a campground and the park ranger would come over and say, hey, you actually don't have a reservation for this campground. And I'd go, you are a Nazi. And then we would kind of get into an altercation from there. And then, because these sick park rangers, everybody assumes because I'm living the nomad lifestyle, wandering from campground to campground, that I must be a great fan of the Park Service.
Yeah, and you must be chill. You must be a go with the flow kind of guy. Not true at all about Scoop.
No, I mean I'm hard line. Okay, I go hard. I'm not sitting and contemplating nature. I'm seeing as much of nature as fast and as hard as I can. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say
that's my move.
One of the things that was so interesting about when you and I were living together is it was not a sort of leisurely sort of jaunt across the country. You were the kind of nomad partner who was constantly tapping the watch. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there trying to take a piss,
still doing it
in the rest area, and you're like, "We got to get on the road, big guy."
And viewers, this guy's pisses would go on so long. I mean, you'd never heard nothing.
No, they
wouldn't.
This is
like Austin Powers level.
See,
comedy,
and this is another way that Scoop is a little bit extreme, folks. He's sitting there. I'm sitting there. I'm taking a quick piss, like 20 seconds, 25 seconds.
False.
Scoop is banging on the rest area door, being like, "Hey, get out of there. We got to make it to Fresno." And I'm like,
"The
Scoop,
Rangers are coming. We got to get to Fresno." Okay, that's what I would say. Look, when we were going across the country, this wasn't a see the country drive. This was a cannonball run. This was a drive as fast as you can and technically see all the beauty that this country has to offer. Yeah, that's what I'm still doing to this day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be interested. I'm impressed. First of all, I don't know how you got a good enough internet connection to stream video. Are you at a campsite right now? Where are you? Do you have like a 5G bumper or something?
Yeah, right now I am crashing in a nice woman's backyard, and
Okay.
I have, as the kids would say, seduced her.
Okay.
By which, yeah. So used a bit of my roguish charm, and and talked my way into this backyard situation. I got a long Ethernet cable stringing back into the house. And and she knows this stream is important.
Yeah, she's letting you mooch off her internet with the she's going hard line. See, I would expect her to have a Wi-Fi router that maybe reaches into the backyard, but no, you're going hard line.
She's old school, we're out here, near Big Sur. She's doesn't get that kind of stable Wi-Fi, so she's doing it. But I got everything I need. I got all the stuff from my van. I've sort of offloaded here into the backyard, so I got all the stuff that I could want, I got all my supplies.
What is that? Is that apple juice?
That's pretty much it.
What is that?
Yeah, this is a little adult apple juice, if you know what I mean. Okay, it's a little puro agave. If you know what I mean.
Okay.
That's
alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're about to toss it back. You about to toss it back for yourself? Okay. I mean, honestly, I'll tell you this.
Man, it's the nomad lifestyle. You know what I mean? I mean, what am I going to do? Say my prayers and go to bed?
No, classically, the nomad drives all day, stops, drinks all night, wakes up, drives all day, stops, drinks all night.
Mm-hmm.
On repeat.
Sometimes I like to invert it. Sometimes I like to drink all day and drive all night.
Which is
just because no one's on the road, it's just you and the wilderness and whatever amphetamine you got coursing through your system.
And
what I mean?
Now we're sort of inching up onto the reason that Scoop and I's our year of nomad lifestyle sort of was cut short. I'll be honest, Scoop. I told you in the middle of it, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm cut out for this lifestyle. It's too much for me. I got a wife and kids at home.
And what did I say to you? I held my pocket knife right to your fucking throat, and I said, "This lifestyle chose you, so get on board or get out."
And
you chose to get out.
I did
point, which,
because I said
I shouldn't have given the other option. And
I said to you at the time, Scoop, I said this lifestyle literally did not choose me. You were a guy that I knew who used to come through the hardware store all the time looking for like accoutrement for his car, like things that you would hang in the car, like in your van.
I was crazy about accoutrement. That's all I wanted was
accoutrement.
Like
coat hooks and curtain racks and stuff.
You still got any of those coat hooks, man? I would love to swing through your town and just pick up a bunch of coat hooks and get what I could.
I ain't at the hardware store no more, unfortunately. So I can't get you to hook up. But
Mr. Twitch stream isn't at the hardware store anymore. He's not living it out in the nomad lifestyle.
It ain't like that, Scoop. It ain't like that, Scoop. It's because I went bankrupt and I had to sell the hardware store. You ain't heard any of this.
No shit.
I went completely bankrupt. Not a little bit bankrupt, all the way bankrupt, and I had to sell the hardware store.
Yeah.
And so I've been sort of making ends meet here otherwise with a few different things. Most recently, I've been doing art. I got you'd actually probably love this thing. I got this thing I'm doing in my backyard. It's an art installation that's called Brett the Mott, The Stuff Is Here. And it's sort of like Marina Abramovich, that artist, where I got a bunch of stuff that's in my backyard. You come and you sit down and you look at my stuff, you look at me, you look at my stuff, you look inside yourself, you look at my stuff. You have an emotional reaction, and then you get to take a piece.
This is art of some kind?
Of some kind. It's of the highest order. Dude, this is big time.
I don't get it. It sounds bad. Listen to me, man. It sounds to me like you going bankrupt was the best thing that ever happened to you, because now you got a chance to hit the open road, okay?
Well,
because you don't need this art. You just need the lifestyle. This is what I don't understand, because I was at some of these campgrounds where there's this film crew and this Francis McDormand were shooting this Nomadland movie, you know, and I don't know if you know, but they got a lot of the real people from the nomad lifestyle to come. And
are you in the movie?
Sort of share their personal stories. I was cut out at every turn. I'm telling you, I ran into these people at every campground that they went to. And to be frank, I'm a bit of a persona non grata in the nomad community because of my, addictions to amphetamines and cocaine and other pills and things, and my general desire to burn as much of the campground as I can on my way out so as to leave no trace. That's how I interpret leave nothing behind,
Right.
But they don't like that as much. So I would show up and, they would just be, the director, Chloe, would be getting these beautiful panning shots of people kind of ambling along around in the South Dakota Hills Park. And I would come through just ripping on an ATV that I stole from the Ranger. And I would just be doing the wheelies, doing donut wheelies. And I would go, donut wheelies. And I would go, Francis, look at me. Francis, look at me. Hey, Joel Cohen's wife, look at me. And they would not acknowledge that. They kept saying, we can't put that in the movie if you keep calling her Joel Cohen's wife. She's also her own person.
Yeah, that's fucked up, Scoop. It's fucked up. It's fucked up to call a woman by the name of her husband.
Why? Just because she has her own identity and is an incredibly respected actress in her field?
I ain't seen Nomadland, but I'd say this. I like Frances McDormand more than I like her husband. I'd call her Frances McDormand, and I'd call him Frances McDormand's husband.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I could get into the inversion of that. That's sort of freaky deaky in a way I could wrap my head around. Okay.
She's way cooler than that guy. Way cooler than that guy. Name one cool thing that he's done.
Filmed Jeff Bridges smoking a joint.
Okay. Name another.
Look, that's all I had.
That is very cool.
I don't know. That's about as good as it gets.
I can't say I done anything even a third as cool as that. So, I guess
I think he interviewed Guillermo del Toro one time.
Oh, come on. Who hasn't done that? I've done that.
It's true. I did that, actually.
Yeah, we both did that.
I did that at Zion National Park.
Yeah.
I ran into Guillermo del Toro. He was sketching a bunch of trees and going, oh, how beautiful. And I was like, hey, let me ask you some questions. What the fuck was up with that lady fucking that fish? And that's about the time I got kicked out of Zion National Park.
Yeah, you had a big hang up on that movie. You couldn't get over it. I remember it. Yeah, you hated it.
Because let me tell you, I've been in plenty of streams in my day trying to wrestle fish to the ground, and those sons of bitches do not want to be caught. So if you're telling me that not only did a woman manage to get her hands on one, but also enter into a loving, consensual, long-term relationship with one that haunted her for the rest of her life, give me a break.
That's a fiction, though. It's fiction. It's like it ain't supposed to be
imitates art, or art imitates life, or whatever the fuck.
I guess I ain't gonna change your mind. No, I ain't gonna change your mind about that movie. What was the name of that movie? I'm sitting here. I keep saying that movie, but what was the name of that movie?
The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. That's right. Shape of Water. Everybody knows about that movie, and
more like Shape of Bullshit, if you know what I mean. That's what I call it. That's what me and some of the Nomad guys call it. They don't really talk to me. They haven't really talked to me since the release of Shape
I was going to say, have you ever had a conversation
with
one of those guys? I don't think I've ever seen somebody have anything more than a pleasant conversation of like sort of pleasantries. Like, hey, how you doing?
Doing good. Have, because there's the guy, I think his name is Bob Wells or something, who's in the movie, and he he kind of is sort of a guru of the nomad lifestyle. And I did have a pretty insightful conversation with one time I was in my camper van, and he came inside and he said, "What are you doing in my camper van? You got to get the fuck out of here." And I go, whoa, Bob, this is a misunderstanding. This is what mi casa, su casa, what's mine is yours, the nomad lifestyle, Hakuna Matata. We all give each other the circle of life, baby. And at that point, he said, are all the electrical wires stripped out of my camper? And I punched him in the throat and I ran. So that was kind of the last major conversation I had with someone in the nomad community.
Yeah, because like I know as we were sort of rounding out the year before the incident, I noticed that our sort of journeys sort of found us getting further and further away from other human beings. And when I left, I'll be honest with you, Scoop. When I left, I was a little bit worried about you. I was worried that
about Scoop. Worried about Scoop out here in the woods with his adult apple juice. Okay, you got nothing to worry about.
It's just you seem like the kind of guy who doesn't necessarily get along with people, doesn't
False.
doesn't
Shut up. False. I think people can't handle me. If people were willing to open their hearts to the shit I'm laying down, they would see that I'm the life of the goddamn party, and if you don't get on board, you're gonna get punched in the throat.
I think here's the thing. Here's the thing, Scoop. I'm gonna lay it all out. I'm gonna lay it out as bluntly as I possibly can about you. Listen, this isn't a confrontation. This is me just giving you some constructive criticism.
Feels like one.
No. I love you, man. This ain't gonna be me ripping you down. Hey, don't. I don't know why I flinched.
I will punch this camera. Yeah, you flinched because you know the power. Okay.
I'm just saying. The nomad lifestyle is supposed to be about sort of letting the wind take you wherever. It feels like you are just like you're trying to almost be too in control of your life and of everything. It's like you're like the opposite. I ain't seen Nomadland, so I don't know the sort of thesis of the movie. But I bet the thesis of that movie.
The thesis of the movie is basic. Well, the thesis of the movie, if I could, is basically never stop running and get seasonal Amazon work if you can. And those are pretty much the two morals. But in terms of what you're talking about, of like the spirit of getting outside or whatever, look, it's like my dad always used to say, you can't wrestle a hurricane. And then I would always tackle him to the ground, hold a pocket knife to his throat, and go, but I could wrestle you.
I feel like
that's kind of the attitude that I have brought to camping. You feel like what?
I feel like every time anybody's ever tried to connect with you or like speak truth to you, it's resulted in like you doing a wrestling move to get them on the ground and then putting your pocket knife to their throat and telling them that ain't true. Did you ever think for once, that maybe your approach is a little too aggressive and that other people are just trying to look out for you? Because as I said, I got nothing but love for you, man. And what I worry about is that you're letting your whole life pass you by because you want to be in so much control. It's like the opposite. It's like you're an opposite nomad. You're not like letting the world drag you around and like show you what it has to offer. You're sitting there, you're grabbing the world by its throat and being like, "Give me everything that I want, asshole." Like you're threatening the world. You're threatening the earth. You're threatening the great landscapes of America. When you really should be sitting on top of your car looking out over the desert at the sunset or the sunrise or whatever, depending on if you're awake or asleep. You should be looking at the sunrise or sunset and being like, and I appreciate this. This is all that I need. You know what I mean?
I know it probably seems like I was just staring off into the distance, contemplating everything you were saying and letting it really land. But I was actually watching two raccoons fuck. And and they seem to maybe also be fighting over a can of beans. And I'm thinking about how to get in between there and get those beans.
You don't want to eat those beans. Scoop, you don't want to eat those beans.
I do want to eat those beans. Here, listen to me, okay? Here's the problem with everything you're saying. You know what's the common denominator of all those experiences when I held a knife to other people's throats?
What's that?
Other people. Okay? That's the common denominator. Other people keep getting in my way. And if people would just give me stuff in their camper vans or the vans themselves, give me the amphetamines I demand, and an open road to just go absolutely apeshit on, then I would be able to see the country as it was meant to be seen, which is drunk and barely registering it.
A blur. It would be just a blur. A drunken blur. Yeah, but I wanted to ask you this because I never really got a clear picture of it the year that we were together. What is Scoop HalfStack's ideal life? What does a day in the ideal life of Scoop HalfStack look like? Because I'll be honest with you, I was with you for 365 of them on a dot. I left exactly 1 year after I started. And I
New
never
Year's
felt
Eve. You left me on New Year's Eve.
I did. I took it off. I took off on New Year's Day, and I quit on New Year's Eve. And I never once felt like you were satisfied on the whole time. Like, and that's the one thing I do know about this Nomadland movie is that there's a lot of shots in the trailer of Frances McDormand's character looking like intensely satisfied with what's going on around her, while looking out over the horizon and sort of letting.
You really haven't seen this movie.
I ain't seen it. It looks nice. It looks like she's enjoying herself. Is that ain't it? Well, that ain't what the movie is?
No, she's actually fucking haunted, bro. Haunted by the past she can't escape no matter how fast she runs. Okay? Just like me.
See, I got something very different from the trailer. And this is why, folks, you shouldn't just watch trailers.
Go see a movie, don't just watch the trailer.
You shouldn't watch a trailer. Also, a trailer on silent because you're in a place with a bunch of other people.
Not a good time to watch the trailer.
And you can't have the sound on, and then you're just seeing Frances McDormand with silhouetted by the sun with a content look on her face. You think, oh, this looks like a nice lady, a movie about a nice lady who's just driving around having a nice time. I guess that ain't it.
In fact, that smile is a mask that she wears to protect herself so that she doesn't have to look too hard in the rearview mirror and understand where she came from and process her own grief. I don't know. I was high when I saw it. But to answer your question of Scoop's ideal day, okay, first of all, I wake up in a motel room I've never seen. Okay? I have no memory of how I've gotten there. But someone is there who I am able to overpower and take their keys. I take their keys. The keys unlock the doors to a beautiful Winnebago. I immediately strip it for parts and supplies and throw that onto the back of an ATV. I hit the road. As I'm driving, I am crushing amphetamines on the steering wheel, snorting them, driving faster. And I just drive west as the sun sets. And then hopefully on this perfect day, I could end sitting at the beach, looking at the Pacific Ocean, and just vomiting up everything that I've ingested over the course of the day. All the pills, all the booze, all the hot dogs that I've stolen from raccoons who stole them from me.
Yeah, we know hot dogs. We ate so many hot dogs. We ate so many hot dogs.
We ate so many hot dogs. The viewers would be, and I can hear the viewers saying, "Oh, you were eating processed meat. You people are disgusting.
No, actually,
you have no idea what it's like to
that's
live out
not
on the
what
road.
these folks would say.
Sick animals, and you have no regard for the common
No,
man
we've all talked. We've talked
I'm
about
blue
it.
Collar, baby.
We've all talked about it. We love hot dogs here. Big fans of hot dogs, specifically movie theater hot dogs. In my chat viewer base, and. So that ain't. There is no judgment.
It's the weirdest shit I ever heard.
Hey, I know.
That's what everybody likes at a movie theater. Someone walking in with a big stinking log of meat. That's what's really good. Hey. That reminds me of the time I went to a movie theater in Seattle, Washington, and the person sitting next to me, who was one of these frou-frou movie theaters, they entered with an IPA and a huge burrito, and they were able to eat a full burrito next to me without me wrestling them and holding a knife to their throat.
Yeah, see, every story don't have to end in violence, Scoop. That's just the reality.
Most do if that's your lived experience. You know what I'm saying?
See, okay, and here, I don't mean to put you on the spot. There was a general rule of the road when we were together to not really talk about the past. And this whole show kind of is about my past. This show has it's a bit of a sort of stroll down memory lane. And I'm just interested, maybe now, after some time apart, would you be at all interested in telling me even a few details about where you came from and what you were sort of escaping? I know the child support thing. We talked about that. You have a couple kids.
Right. Yeah.
But what were you running from,
I don't
Scoop?
pay child support, but that does not define me, okay? That does not define me. Well, let's give you the bio, okay? I was born and not raised in Southern California on an orange grove.
What does that mean?
Huh?
Born and not raised.
Born and not raised. It means I was born and no one bothered to take care of me, okay?
Okay.
You know?
Okay, that actually does make sense now that you say it, yeah.
And from there, I worked in the fruit fields in Salinas for a long time. And it was about then that I started brewing my own grain alcohol. I would kind of siphon paint thinners or various industrial chemicals and kind of let those ferment in a jug, and I would drink those.
I don't think that's grain alcohol.
One of those to with paint alcohol.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And then I would serve it to some of the other farmhands, and that was going great for a while until one of them drank it and died because it was too poisoned.
When you say it was going good for a while, how long? How long are we talking about? I can't imagine this.
2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. 2 beautiful weeks. And then one of those guys died, so I ran away. And then before I knew it, I was at a dock somewhere in some marina in California, and it was then that I saw a big, beautiful ship that was departing. And I got to hop on the ship, and I blended into this crew of people. One of them was this great creepy redheaded lady, and then they was sort of led by this big blonde asshole with a mustache who said he was a nuclear physicist and a philosopher of some kind, and he had developed a scientific program that could let people unlock their inner potential. And I kind of started brewing a lot of specific, like, high alcohol content alcohol that he and I would drink, and we would smoke cool cigarettes together, menthols, and we developed a bond, and I became sort of like his mentally tortured lapdog, and I would kind of do whatever he said, but I was pretty mentally ill at that time, and I think they ended up making a movie about it.
I was gonna say, I don't know what the movie is, but this sounds like the plot of a movie, because
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think someone might have won an Academy Award, but it's
okay.
It was a crazy time, and in many ways he was the master. He was the master to me, and I was his servant. I
get it. It's that. I know. It's that movie.
So 2 movies I should have been in: Nomadland, and the one based on my own freaking life.
Okay, it's that movie, The Master.
Yeah.
The Master. I've seen
and
that.
The Commander, I think it's called. Yeah.
Oh, Master and Commander. That's the one where it's all about turtles. In my memory, that movie is 99% about turtles. In my head.
And 20% about cannonballs.
Maybe.
So it adds up to more than 100.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can I be honest with you? It's funny. You just talked about The Master. Obviously, the plot of The Master, which was based on your life. And I was sitting here.
Right.
I've seen that movie. I've seen it, and I didn't put it together. And now that you've told me that it was that movie, I'm remembering now that the guy in that movie drank weird alcohol. And,
That's right. And let me tell you,
now I understand.
Let me say something right now to Joe Queen Phoenix, okay? This guy, you think you could portray me better than me? You're sick. You're disgusting. And your veganism bullshit is abhorrent. And I don't care if it is saving the planet. You and Rooney Mara saying, oh, the genocide of the cows. Shut the fuck up. You got an Academy Award, and you were in a goddamn movie where you talked to a computer in your ear and fell in love with it. You don't know the first thing about the Nomad life, and you don't know the first thing about drinking paint thinner until you black out and almost die.
I don't think he ever had the intention of portraying himself as someone who understands the nomad lifestyle, though. That wasn't it.
I don't know what he intended, okay? I all I know is he got it wrong the same way Franny McDormand got it wrong, okay?
I feel like, man, it might.
A question: with the way the frame is cropped, can your viewers even get a sense that I have bothered to set all this up outside?
Yeah, they can see. They know you're really outside. It's gotten dark outside.
Okay, good.
They didn't see the lantern. I'll pan around. There's a lantern there. There's a cup. There's a bench. Scoop is literally outside, and it ain't warm out. This guy's
warm, baby.
He's used to the cold. But no, I mean,
you could say I was born in the cold. Okay.
Well, I can't.
And that's
you were born in Southern California.
Character that was. It was well, sure, but that was another movie character that was a little too closely based on me, and that's Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. A little too similar to my life story, okay? Because also went to a prison halfway around the world that they said no one could escape from, but I escaped from it because I had no fear, and I jumped as hard and as high as I could. Okay, but I didn't bother to join the League of Shadows because I knew that wasn't the way to salvation. The way to salvation was to get a woman pregnant, have her have the kid, stop paying child support, and hit the road with my good friend until he chose to abandon me.
I kind of feel bad now. Now I feel like a picture of you has been painted a little bit more clearly, and I feel bad. I almost feel bad for being so closely associated with you for a year. Then this is
why. What do you mean?
you're just. I like to look at myself as a nice, caring man, you know.
Okay.
And I've done some bad stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of bad stuff, but it feels like
bad stuff.
Hang on. This isn't some kind of weird.
No. Do you remember when you assaulted that bear in Yosemite National Park?
Oh,
do you remember this?
I assaulted the bear.
No.
You
assaulted a bear.
That bear assaulted me. That bear assaulted me.
Really?
Yeah. I was trying to take a piss, and then this little baby bear comes up, and I'm thinking this little baby bear is going to try to grab me. So I throw a rock at the baby bear. And then, little does I know, I'm standing between this baby bear and its mama bear. And I got my pants down. I'm pissing in the woods. And I'm fucking freaked out. And the bear comes at me. The bear came at me first. And the only choice I had was to grab the log and hit it in the head. And it was just a perfectly placed log smack. I wasn't even trying to hurt the bear. I wasn't.
Viewers, here's what actually happened, okay? We're at a campsite, okay? And he turns to me and goes, hey, look, I see a family of bears over there. I'm going to go huck rocks at them and wave my dick in their face. And I go, I really don't think that's a good idea. I think the park rangers would frown on that.
Ow, come on.
He takes off, drops trowel like a 4-year-old boy at a urinal, and waddles over to bears, picks up rocks and just starts hucking them.
I don't know what incentive you have to lie so boldly to my audience, Scoop. That is not.
The mother bear walks up. The mother bear walks up, and you'd think the mother bear would be being aggressive, but the mother bear looked at him with such a haunting look of sorrow and grief, tears in her eyes. I've never seen a bear cry. This bear crying, practically just a low growl as if to say, give me back my children. And this motherfucker looks the bear right in the eye and says, this is the weirdest thing. For whatever reason, he quoted Chris Rock. He goes, what, you want, a cookie? And then he hit the bear with the log, okay? Killing this bear instantly. And that was the reason we got kicked out of Yosemite Park that night.
I think, folks, you got two versions of a story. I either was peeing and accidentally got between a baby bear and its mother bear, or 2, I consciously provoked a ravenous animal and then hit it on purpose with a stick. That ain't what happened. And for some reason, a bunch of people in the chat are saying they believe Scoop, and I don't understand.
Yes.
Why they believe you over me?
Active. Well, I got a lot of fans on Twitch. I'm pretty active on Twitch. I like to live stream my rampages. I've taken to calling them rampages because that's what the authorities have labeled them.
And I bet
culture much. And
I also bet Rampage does a lot better for the analytics or for the keyword
really
searches.
When that movie was coming out, I was getting all kinds of subs. I mean, people were really logging on. People thought Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was going to be logging on, but no, it was just
Rampage,
your boy Scoop outrunning the law.
Rampage is a movie that I can get behind, folks. There's a very funny scene in the movie, and this is the only scene that I remember from the movie, and it's my favorite scene in a The Rock movie, and it's after a plane crash. The plane has crashed into a cornfield, and The Rock, they cut to The Rock, and there's a solid minute-long sort of slow dolly shot of him seemingly just smelling the corn. And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in a movie. It is legitimate. I said a minute. It's probably legitimately a 30-second shot of him smelling corn, and then somebody walks up behind him to interrupt it. And it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. That's real. Go watch the movie. You'll find the scene that I'm talking about. And I'm one of the only people who like that movie.
That reminds me that the character that The Rock played in Central Intelligence is also pretty much ripped off my life, in that I was overweight in high school and people made fun of me, and then I did work for the CIA for a period of time.
Okay. This is new information for me.
Yeah, well, it was pretty brief. I was just part of their I just got in there so that I could work with some of their death squads in the Iran-Contra operation at the time. I just wanted to do the dirty work of the CIA and get that on my resume, get a couple confirmed kills, get out.
Yeah, you were excited for the stuff that people don't talk about that gives people PTSD.
Yeah. Well, I already had that, and I was like, how can I get this more, You
wanted to double down on your PTSD. So. Well, geez. Man,
that's right.
I'll tell you, Scoop, it's been a real blast chatting with you, man. It's about time for us to wrap things up here.
Blast from the past. It's incredible to see you. I wish you were out here on the road with me, chopping it up, grabbing hot dogs out of raccoons' grubby little paws and eating them over a nice heat lamp that we stole.
Listen, for the time that I was there, I will say I can't say that I was enjoying it that much, but I'm glad that it happened, and I'm glad that I met you, even though you kind of scare me. I'm glad that to know that you're out there and you're still doing well and you ain't done something so crazy that you ended up in prison or dead. So I'm really excited that we were able to do this, even if it's just so that I could check that you're alive.
Not yet, but I'm trying every day. You know what I'm saying?
That's not the goal.
As I can.
Scoop, the goal is not prison or death.
I can experience what it's like to get out. Well, come see, come saw.
All right. Well, Scoop, it was great. It was really great chatting with you, man. I feel even more enlightened about who you were and who you are now after this chat. And if you ever find yourself back up in Pennsylvania, give me a holler. I don't know if you have a phone or anything, but if you want to, I still live in the same house.
The easiest way to get in touch with me is on the Dick's Sporting Goods Bowie knife message boards. I'm pretty active in that community. Just because I have a really good technique for, holding said knife to someone's throat. So just if you post something there and you just, if you write the word shadow, then I'll know that's sort of my code word to be active. So, and anyone can hit me up that way, please.
Great. Yeah. So anybody, if you want to get in touch with Scoop, just head over to the Dick's Sporting Goods or Big Five. Which one did you say?
Dick's Sporting. I don't fuck with Big Five because let me tell you something. The people at Big Five are sick. They will not let you use the outdoor camping showers that they have on their display room as a real functional shower, even though that's how they work.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you want to get in touch with Scoop, if you want to give the Nomad lifestyle a shot, I'm sure Scoop would take you in with open arms as long as you brought something to the table, ride wise.
That's right.
But Scoop, it was really great chatting with you, man. It was really great chatting with you.
Great chatting with you.
I really appreciate you putting so much time.
I'm gonna handle these raccoons real quick. Get out of here, raccoons. Huh?
All right.
Give me those goddamn beans.
Take it easy, Scoop. I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Oh, folks. Scoop HalfStack. That's 2 weeks in a row I learned something new about an old friend that scared me. Isn't that interesting? But folks, thank you so much for being here for another episode of How You Been with Brett DeMott. It was a real true blast, as always. I appreciate everybody being here. As you all know, I'm sure the Nomad lifestyle ain't easy. So if you could spare a couple bucks, any money that you donate will go straight to my buddy Scoop, even just $1. You can type in !donate and a link will pop up into the chat. Click that. Woo! And you can do that with PayPal or whatever. But no worries if you can't. Just being here is enough. I appreciate everybody who shows up here every week and makes it worth my while to do the show. I have a blast every time. If you enjoyed the show tonight, tell a friend to come by next week and watch the show where I'll have another great guest. Tweet about the show. I don't know. I never do this. I never tell people to tell people about this show. I kind of just do it and rely on it existing to get people to watch it. But if you like the show, tell a friend to stop by and watch next time. If you got a question, shoot it over to howyoubenshow@gmail.com. Again, if anybody wants to show up to my court proceedings and do a courtroom sketch of any moment from the trial, feel free to do that. You can send your sketches to howyoubenshow@gmail.com. I'll put them. I'll show them on the show if you send them to me, and I'll explain to people what was going on at that time. And also keep your eyes peeled. I'm gonna start shooting this documentary on Brett DeMott. The stuff is here, so I should have some clips from that to show at some point in the future. So a lot of cool, fun stuff should be coming up in the next few weeks, folks. So keep coming back every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. For How You Been with Brett DeMott. I, of course, have been Brett DeMott. You have been the Soaks. And we have had a great time. So, folks, until next time, Brett out.